Okay, so imagine this. You walk into a dealership, you hand over the keys to your beloved Ute, and the salesperson looks at you and says, "Sorry, mate, this thing's worth almost nothing now." That moment, that gut punch feeling, is happening to real Australians right now, every single week. And the scary part? Most of them didn't see it coming. They thought their Ute would hold its value. They thought they were safe. They were wrong. Today on The Drive Intel, we are breaking down the 5 most popular Utes that Australians are rushing to get rid of before their resale value completely collapses. Whether you own one of these right now or you're thinking about buying one, you need to watch this entire video because what we're about to share could either save you tens of thousands of dollars or cost you if you ignore it. Before we get into it, if you're new here, welcome to The Drive Intel, the channel where we give you the real automotive intelligence that dealerships and manufacturers don't want you knowing. Hit that like button right now and subscribe so you never miss an episode like this one. We post videos that actually affect your wallet, your garage, and your driving life. Okay, let's get into it. So why are Utes suddenly losing value in Australia? To understand that, you need to look at the bigger picture. Australia is going through one of the most dramatic automotive shifts it has ever seen. Electric vehicles are entering the market faster than most people expected. Fuel prices keep bouncing around and creating anxiety for buyers. New competition from international brands is flooding the market with fresher, more feature-packed options at competitive prices. And on top of all that, many of the most iconic Utes on Australian roads are getting long in the tooth. Their technology is outdated. Their fuel economy is embarrassing compared to newer alternatives. And used car prices that spiked during the pandemic are now correcting hard and fast. All of this together is creating a perfect storm for depreciation. And the Utes on this list are right in the middle of it. The first Ute we need to talk about is the Ford Ranger. Now, before you close this video, hear us out, because this one is going to surprise a lot of people. The Ranger has been one of Australia's most beloved and best-selling Utes for years. It's tough, it's capable, it looks great, and it has a loyal fan base that practically worships it. But here's the thing that's quietly changing the picture. Ford has been rolling out significant updates and new generation models, and what that means for older Ranger owners is that their previous generation trucks are starting to age out of relevance faster than expected. When a manufacturer drops a heavily refreshed or all-new model, used versions of the older generation almost always take a depreciation hit. Buyers shopping in the used market now have more options, newer tech, and better safety ratings to choose from, all pushing down the desirability of older Ranger variants. Add to that the fact that the Ranger's diesel engines, while still solid, are facing increasing scrutiny as more fleet buyers start considering electrification options. Fleet sales make up a huge chunk of used Ute supply in Australia. When fleets start moving, values shift. Dealers on the ground across Queensland, New South Wales, and Victoria are reporting that older Rangers are sitting longer on forecourts than they were even just 18 months ago. That's not a good sign. If you've got a 2019 or 2020 Ranger, and you've been thinking about upgrading, the window to do it at a strong trade-in value is getting smaller by the month. Moving along to number 2, and this one is a name that carries serious emotional weight for many Australians. We're talking about the Holden Colorado. Yes, Holden is gone as a brand, but thousands and thousands of Colorados are still on Australian roads, and their owners are now watching a slow-motion value disaster unfold. The core problem here is obvious but brutal. There are no more new Colorados being made under the Holden badge. There's no brand investment, no new marketing, no updates, no technology improvements. When a brand disappears, its used vehicles gradually become orphaned, parts can become harder to source, dealership support fades, resale interest softens, and buyer confidence evaporates. We're already seeing this play out in the data. Holden Colorado trade-in offers have dropped noticeably over the past couple of years, and industry analysts expect the trend to continue. If you're driving a Colorado and you've been holding on for sentimental reasons, that loyalty might be costing you real money. The emotional connection to the Holden brand is completely understandable, but the financial market doesn't care about nostalgia. It cares about demand, supply, and confidence. Right now, all 3 are moving in the wrong direction for Colorado owners. Number 3 on our list is one that's going to hit hard for a lot of tradies and outdoor enthusiasts. The Mitsubishi Triton has been a dependable workhorse in Australia for decades. It's carried more ladders, towed more trailers, and survived more dusty outback tracks than most people can imagine. But the Triton is now caught in an incredibly tough position. While Mitsubishi did release an updated version of the Triton recently, the brand's overall presence in Australia has been shrinking. Mitsubishi doesn't have the same sales volume, the same dealer network strength, or the same cultural momentum it once had. And when a brand loses momentum, its resale values follow. The older generation Tritons are particularly vulnerable right now. They lack the driver assistance technology that modern buyers expect as standard. Their infotainment systems feel dated compared to newer rivals. And frankly, There are just better spec'd options available at similar or even lower price points in the used market. We're hearing from private sellers across Australia that Triton listings are sitting longer without serious inquiries. Dealerships are offering softer trade-in numbers because they know moving these trucks on the forecourt is taking longer. The spread between what sellers want and what buyers will pay is growing, and that gap is the very definition of falling value. Let's talk about number 4 now, and this is a Ute that's going to split opinion because it has an absolutely devoted following, the Toyota HiLux. Now hold on. Before any HiLux loyalists come for us in the comments, understand what we're actually saying here. The HiLux is still one of the most capable and reliable Utes ever built. Toyota's reputation is ironclad, but even legendary vehicles are not immune to market forces, and right now there is a very specific version of the HiLux that is under serious depreciation pressure. Older HiLux models, particularly those from the 2015 to 2018 era, are starting to feel the squeeze. The gap between them and current generation models has become significant in terms of safety features, technology, and efficiency. Meanwhile, the used market is being flooded with supply. Many fleet operators who loaded up on HiLux vehicles during the pandemic-era new car shortage are now cycling them through. That increased supply combined with cautious buyers is pushing trade-in values down. And we're also seeing the early signs of fleet buyers of us beginning to explore electric and hybrid alternatives for light commercial roles, which historically have been HiLux territory. That long-term shift is beginning to create a subtle but real ceiling on what older HiLux models can fetch. The name is still strong. The loyalty is still real. But if you're sitting on an older HiLux and you've been waiting for the perfect time to trade up, you don't want to wait much longer. And that brings us to number 5, and in some ways, this one is the most urgent of them all, the Nissan Navara. The Navara has had a complicated journey in the Australian market. It's a Ute with genuine capability, a relatively comfortable ride compared to its rivals, and a price point that has always made it attractive to budget-conscious buyers. But the Navara is now facing a combination of forces that are working against its residual value in a very aggressive way. Nissan's overall brand positioning in Australia has been weakening, sales volumes have declined, the dealer network has contracted, and the Navara has not received the kind of substantial updates that some of its competitors have. When you compare a current Navara to what's available from Ford, Toyota, or even newcomers like the GWM Ute, the Navara's feature list and refinement level start to look increasingly ordinary. And then there's the question of reliability perception. While many Navara owners have had perfectly fine experiences, the model has accumulated enough negative press over the years, particularly around its independent rear suspension and some engine complaints, that secondhand buyer confidence is softer than it should be for a vehicle with genuine capability. All of this is showing up in the numbers. Navara trade-in values have been declining, and the trajectory doesn't look like it's reversing anytime soon. If you own a Navara right now, you are essentially in a race against depreciation, and the clock is ticking faster than it might feel. So what should you actually do with this information? The Drive Intel is not here to make you panic. We're here to give you real, actionable intelligence. The first thing you should do is get a current market valuation on your Ute. Not the number you think it's worth, not the emotional value, the actual current market number. Talk to multiple dealerships, check private sale platforms, understand where the market genuinely sits today. Second, if you're planning to upgrade or change vehicles in the next 12 to 24 months anyway, bringing that timeline forward could protect you from significant value losses. The gap between acting now and acting in 2 years could easily be $5,000 to $15,000 on some of these models. Third, if you absolutely love your Ute and you plan to run it into the ground and never sell it, then depreciation matters a lot less to you personally, but you should still be aware of it from a finance and insurance perspective. The Australian automotive market is changing faster than it ever has before. The Utes that defined a generation of Australian driving culture are being disrupted by new technology, new competitors, and new buyer expectations. That's not a bad thing necessarily. It just means you need to be smarter, more informed, and more proactive than ever before when it comes to your vehicle decisions. We want to hear from you right now. Drop a comment below and tell us which Ute you're currently driving and whether you're planning to hold on to it or trade it in this year. Your experience might genuinely help someone else watching this video make a smarter decision. And if you found this breakdown useful, please share this video with a mate who owns one of these Utes. Seriously, sharing this could save them a real chunk of money, and they'll thank you for it. Don't forget to hit like if you learned something today, and make sure you're subscribed to the Drive Intel so you don't miss what's coming next. We've got more deep dives into Australia's automotive market lined up that you are absolutely going to want to see. Until next time, stay informed, stay smart, and keep driving smart decisions. This has been the Drive Intel. We'll see you in the next one.